When Ben Simmons was drafted back in 2016, people thought he'd be the next LeBron, but that hasn't been the case at all. Despite being a solid player overall, Ben's biggest issue has always been his inability to nail jump shots consistently. So in this video, we're going to look at how Simmons has been trying to overcome this flaw, and whether or not this effort will actually work. Let's get right into it. First up, is Simmons working hard or hardly working? After being roasted for years because of his broken jumper, Ben seems to be focused on proving his doubters wrong. Recently, a video surfaced on the internet where Simmons practiced threes at the Nets preseason training camp. The bad news is that his jumper isn't looking all too great. The athlete shot a bunch of three-point jumpers, but sadly he missed most of them even though they were just wide-open, uncontested shots. Now, for those of you who know anything about basketball, it's quite concerning for a seasoned player to be missing such shots. Why? Well, because when a player can't even make these easy scores, then how's he ever gonna make high-pressure contested threes in-game? While it might seem like Ben's trying to work hard in practice, we think he's hardly working at all because his three-point shooting drills are starting to look half-hearted, to say the least. If he really wants to improve on that jump shot, he needs to be practicing at least 100 threes consecutively, or else there's no point. The truth is, to become better at something, you need to invest lots of time and energy into it, something he doesn't seem too interested in doing. What's more, because he hasn't played in so long, the athlete shouldn't even be practicing jumpers from so far out right now. Instead, he should be focusing all his efforts on his midi. Once those are in order, only then should he aim to work towards improving his three-point shot. Next up, is the upcoming season looking any better? While it's great to see at least some form of effort from Simmons, we would hold off on the excitement for a while if you're a fan of the player or the Nets. Even though the practice is great for polishing your skills, sadly it doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful during the games. This has proven to be very true for Simmons. So many off-seasons have passed with videos being posted of Simmons practicing threes at training camp. But once the season starts, we get nothing. For now, we think that this season will be no different. The most he's ever done is make 3 shots from beyond the arc back in the 2021 season, and that's probably going to happen again, only if we're lucky. At the same time, who knows? Maybe he decides to shoot more and can actually make at least 1 three-pointer a game. That seems unlikely though, because apparently the Nets head coach Steve Nash has said that he doesn't care if Simmons ever attempts a jump shot. Now that's not very good coming from a coach, because if they aren't forcing you to come out of your comfort zone, how can you ever improve? Moving on, the public reacts to it all. While some sites are hyping up this much talked about video, it's pretty unfortunate that the fans are just not buying it. Whether you go on YouTube or Twitter, all the replies are trolling him. Like we talked about earlier, this is just a cycle that repeats itself every year, and that's why fans aren't taking the video seriously at all. One person replied, "How many years are we gonna do this?" While another said this arc will always be hilarious to him. We'll have to agree with those sentiments. Simmons also made things worse for himself by looking average at best in the video. Many people pointed out how his form isn't looking too good because of how janky it is. Plus, he does a little hop after every shot, which obviously is gonna make it impossible to be consistent with his shot. Based on overall fan reactions, it's clear that they can see right through this and aren't expecting anything special from him in terms of shooting. Coming up, is Ben really that bad? In his rookie season, Simmons attempted 11 threes. That's the most threes he's ever shot in a season. Want to guess how many he made? You guessed that right, 0. Moving on to his sophomore season, he attempted just 6 and finished another season without draining a single 3. Finally, in his third season, he drained his first ever 3 and did the same a second time as well. In the 2021 season, Simmons shot a three-pointer just 10 times and managed to make 3. That isn't too shabby for him, but for his career, he's just 5 for 34, which translates to a horrendous 14.7%. That's simply unacceptable if you're a point guard in this league. Despite all the criticism he's faced, the numbers do suggest a gradual improvement, but since he's missed a whole season, it'll be tough to be any better than he was in 2021. Up next, why is he so bad at shooting? Plainly put, Ben's just not a shooter, but since he's playing in the era of the three-point shot, he's being forced to try and become better at it. Growing up, Simmons never developed a proper outside shot, and this just ruined his chances of becoming good at it in the long run. Why didn't he develop an outside shot? Well, it's a combination of a bunch of different things. One of the main reasons is his huge frame. Unlike most point guards who are usually around 6 feet, he's 6'11" and weighs 250 pounds. Not only does this make it harder to shoot, but his size and athleticism also gives him so much power that he can just blow by his opponents and get to the rim for an easy score. That means he doesn't have much of an incentive to work on a shot. The second reason, which is probably the main thing that's keeping him from being big, is his mentality. It's always seemed as if Ben has a mental block when it comes to shooting threes during games. He looks scared of shooting a jumper in every game he's played, even when he's left wide open. In recent times, this mental block spread to easy shots like layups as well. For example, back in the 2021 NBA playoffs, he passed up a wide open layup, which left the Sixers fans fuming. All of this just shows he may be in his own head. Moving on, has all the criticism gotten the best of Simmons? In the past, Ben never talked about how the haters and critics affected his mental health, but since last year, he's become far more open about these things. Recently, the point guard appeared on JJ Redick's The Old Man and the Three podcast, where he told JJ that all the hate he received early in his career got the better of him and messed him up mentally. Simmons claimed that at first he didn't care too much, but then it got to a point where it got too much. He started feeling too much pressure and couldn't play the way he wanted to. Earlier this year, Simmons also opened up about his mental health struggles since last year, but he seems to be doing a whole lot better now. On the podcast, he went on to say that now he's unfazed by all the doubters who clown on his lack of shooting because he's matured and found peace. Following up, what's his best case scenario? The only way we see Simmons earning back some respect is if he's available for the entire season and can actually help the Nets do something huge next season. He can do that if he becomes far more confident as a player and embraces his size and strength. He's huge and he's more than capable of playing like a prime Blake Griffin who dunked all over everyone. We might see Simmons play as the center for the Nets, and that might be the best thing for him going forward. Even otherwise, when it comes to shooting threes, he should just take them whenever he's open and also focus on making mid-range jumpers part of his game. If he can do all of this while staying true to the amazing playmaker and rebounder that he is, we think he can have the best season of his career next year. Finally, what's his worst case scenario? If we get another year of Ben sitting out an insane amount of games when he really should be playing, then that'll leave everyone disappointed in him. Another thing that could ruin his chances of being successful is if he continues to be timid. He lacks that killer mentality as of now, and unlike other all-star players, he just doesn't have that dog in him. If this is the case for all of next season as well, we doubt he'll do anything worthwhile for the Nets. This is the year for him to be at his best, so if he fumbles the opportunity, he'll just be making matters far worse for himself. What's more, it seems as if KD will definitely request another trade next year if the Nets have another embarrassing season, so if Ben can't meet expectations, he might lose the best player on the team. That's a wrap for this video. Will Ben finally shut down his haters and make jumpers at a consistent rate next season? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.